Hello? 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 Hi. I'm going to start with a poem that I read at the other location. It's a bit of a riddle, so it's good to get my nerves out and get my mouth warmed up. So bear with me if I make mistakes. So it's called What If Not Continuity? I forgot who I was before, but now I know I have forgotten. I forgot to remind myself of who I was not, but I didn't know I forgot. I didn't know that I didn't know who I was not. I was not who I was in the forgetting, nor am I who I am now in remembering. And I cannot dive into and out without forgetting to remember myself. Have I not always only been a collection of forgotten selves, remembering or remembering to remember to forget? Aren't I transitional? I observe myself distantly. The distance measures the elusive nature of an immemorable mind, like mine, from where I am now to where I once was. Liminal space contracts and waits, pausing in the comfort of the unfamiliar, in the birth of one thought to another. Who I've been being never knew any other beings, other than the being it was being, for or at the time being. In fact, I remember relentlessly devoting all my attention to who I was not, rather than who I believed I could be. And am I being the being I think I'm supposed to be? Who would I be then, if then I was who I am now? Someone I would eventually forget, and remember I forgot. I cannot dive back into memory and out without remembering how forgotten I am, without a self to forget, and a self to remember I forgot. Thank you. So this next poem I was going to use at the Creekside concert because James wanted a poem that was about water, and I said, well, I have a poem that's about heat, which has kind of a relationship right now. So it's called Untitled Summer. Scanning the scene. Young couples in silk, languid, elegant, shaded in conversation, sweaty, phony. Scanning the scene. Bare sunlight, skin bare in the heat. Grass shoots from the edges of concrete we avoid, stopping for beer and melon on the way to thick green grass, resisting and enduring like wilty blossoms, awaiting sudden wind, then slapped in the face by the careless sun. Cycling slowly, bare-legged in that blast of wind, wasted with heavy breath. I'm sick of car exhaust. Scanning the scene. Hot days where time stops, head on dry, harsh ground, cutting skin with touch, dreaming up, arguing, the blue of sea and/or eruptions and quakes. It was the unchanging heat, the flaming, pulsing sun gleaming far that made us crave night rain, wet concrete, summer fog, a damp paradise. Scanning the scene. In the summer's swollen whelm, I sense the devil in my ugly, aching feet. We earth movers locked inside some sort of hell, vomiting, quenching, with weak hearts, crying all the way. A sick old seagull settles down to die. Scanning the scene. The earth parted in a clash, hair tingling, static flesh lashed in lightning. King of hell at last feels the heat thus freed from adaptation and human need, living all alone in the blue flame of a sinister, empty sky. Okay, the next one's not light either. It's called Untitled Nightmare, and it was from an actual nightmare I had and woke up feverishly with the will to write it down. So here we go. Okay. The pages got all mixed up, so sorry. A nightmare arrived, like a trick in the blue dark of lone morning. In the theater, I am not alone, yet the presence of loneliness pulses gently at the base of my gut. A dark screen looms over the audience, I as one and others as another, or am I everyone? A towering figure steps out, slender and dragging horror with ambiguous grace. Intoxicated in fear, my chest compresses with each whisper closer. This mystery beckons me to watch, while widening mouths twist open a foul smell. Liquid floods a narrow shaft fastened like flesh around the boundary of a scream. Bodies morph into and spit out ancient identities and visions of tomorrow. If human, I can barely tell. If a dream, in the midst of my voyeuristic terror, I am spared this intrusion. My body intact, blood flowing, bones at rest. Time deviates. I am entirely alone, left only with the residue of discomfort a nightmare is sure to let linger, even days after eyes begin to peel back open. Okay, this is my last poem. It's titled, When You Come to Me. Even if our tongues pierce profoundly, I still fear redundancy slips through our cheeks, each breath begging, snapping for release. Our history, mine or yours or you and I, cling to the edge of the periphery. Cling to the edge of conversation. The periphery trembles, and at each burst of laughter, light leaks, spitting out foolishness. For a moment we bask, enamored by absurdity. We all got bones battling blood to belong, got memory patched up, sewed in secrecy, pulsing as fragmented atoms of a dislodged womb. And if so, then my tear is no nearer to me than it is to you. Pleading for love. What love? Your twirling fingers or your batting eyelids or the shift from hip to hip encompasses what may never be said. The avoidance of silence entirely clothes our bare form, but we can't hide silence, it slithers. In between subtle gestures, it lurks. We can't hide silence, it slithers in between subtle gestures into sneaky glances like a bystander. It lurks for holes to fill and for teeth to grit. Do you wish to confess or conceal? I yearn for a quiet carnival, overflowing with cynics and romantics blending up their dreams. A utopic vision I must contort my body to see. Can we abandon settlement and security, go digging in bruised forests instead, pull up earth with roots unhinged and bury back ourselves but deeper, pleading for love, this love? The acquainted evenings of solitude, indulging in moments alone with you, but come still, as before the storm, and rest with the sun lounging in your throat, just below the base of your soft breath. Thank you. The performance I'm doing later, the poem is called Frozen Cradle, so there's a poem in it, just so you know. I'm not doing it though, it's a score.
Thank you, Lee Ingram. Let's hear it one more time.